Storytelling in Prince of Persia features something we call on-demand dialogue. It's a crucial component of how we deliver the story to the player. Obviously, we have what we call the linear backbone. So while you're playing the game, you walk into a zone, an event will trigger, things will happen, the Prince and Elika will talk. And that'll give you the sort of bare essence you need to understand what's going on in this game. That'll give you the background that you need to understand, but not necessarily much more than that. But this being a Prince of Persia game, obviously story is very important, obviously characters are very important. We wanted to make sure we had a way to deliver an incredible story with very rich characters in a way that worked with an open world environment. And the on-demand dialogue system is the tool that we do to do exactly that. It puts the power in the hands of the player to decide when they want to talk to Elika, when do they want to know more about whatever is going on in the world.
We must get to the fertile grounds.
What are these fertile grounds?
They feed the temple, give it the energy it needs to hold Ahriman trapped.
How?
I don't know. They were constructed 1,000 years ago after Ahriman was imprisoned.
Whenever you stop to talk to Elika when you're playing the game by pressing the on-demand dialogue button, what she's talking to you about is always going to be relevant to what's going on in the game at that particular point in time. If some event took place 15 minutes ago but has been surpassed by a bunch of other more important events, that subject will no longer be discussed because it's not relevant to the state of the game at that point in time. So you're always going to get fresh dialogue, you're always going to get stuff that's relevant to what's going on in the game at that particular point in time. You're always going to be learning about the stuff that matters to you as a player because of what's going on in the game world. We think the on-demand dialogue system is a really cool tool to help put power in the hands of the players to explore the story, explore the characters at their pace when they want to, without forcing story down the throats of those who just want to jump in, get into the action, and feel like they're doing really, really cool stuff.
Why do I get the feeling if corruption didn't do this, something worse did?
In the last battle with Ahriman, the city was given to the warrior. I think this could be his work.
When you are speaking with Elika and you're digging down into her backstory, when you're speaking with the prince, you really feel the development of these two characters and their growing relationship. The voice actor of the prince and Elika actually know each other in real life, and when we recorded them in studio at the same time. So a lot of the nuances and the subtleties that comes from a really incredible voice acting performance is clearly seen at its height when you're digging into the depths of the on-demand dialogue system.
Have you finished understanding me?
I know you've lost things, and that makes your life feel worth less. But if you don't value your life, it's like you don't really care about the things you lost.
Oh, that's a pretty fine speech for someone who doesn't care about anything.
Obviously, we needed a second chance mechanism that would encourage players to explore, encourage them to take risks, encourage them to try new things. Having Elika reach out, grab you, pull you back to a platform if you fail and die, having her save you from the killing blow of an enemy is exactly that second chance mechanism. It allows you to try alternate pathways when you're doing acrobatics. It allows you to try different strategies and different combos in combat, knowing that the penalty for failure is not going to be so punishing that you're going to throw your controller down in frustration. But what's very important to add is that the challenge is always still there. If you fail and Elika does do the save me, the enemy will regenerate a significant portion of their life. Obviously then there is a challenge there because you do not want to have to re-fight that enemy. In acrobatics, same thing. Elika can only save you back to the previous stable platform. So if you're on the ground and you're doing acrobatics and you do a wall run and swing off a pole and then grab a column and then climb on the vines and then slide down a slope and then grab another pole, and then you fail after 6 or 7 or 8 ingredients, Elika will bring you all the way back to the previous stable platform. That's the only place she can save you. Now, imagine adding onto that challenge, reading the traps, reading the timing of these various creatures in the game, and you can see why that penalty that you have to pay of going back to that previous stable platform is certainly something that you want to avoid. In effect, what Elika's Save Me system does is give us a rolling checkpoint. If you fail, you're not having to start all the way back at the beginning of the game. You're always staying in the action, getting right back into the acrobatic sequence, but in a way that still offers a penalty that's going to want to make you not have to depend on that Save Me system, because you're not going to necessarily want to have to redo that acrobatic sequence. We think it keeps you engaged in the action, keeps you engaged in the story, and gives you that second chance mechanism you need in order to try some spectacular sequences. So I hope that better explains our Save Me system. I hope it helps you understand that this is a game that is accessible without eliminating challenge. There's certainly meat for you to sink your teeth into, both in acrobatics and combat for you hardcore gamers out there. I also hope you have a better understanding now of the on-demand dialogue system and how it adds life and richness to our characters and our story. These are both two features of the game that I'm really proud of, and hopefully you'll be digging deep into them when Prince of Persia comes out December 2nd.